Ben, when you take a look at where we stand now as a country with the unemployment rate, it is certainly far lower for people who do not have disabilities than it is for people with disabilities. But we have seen the unemployment rate for people with disabilities go down. Is that because, in the last year, I should say, is that because it makes good business sense? I mean, what is the competitive advantage of your business, perhaps because you employ more people with disabilities?
It's very encouraging to see that number start to tick down, and we'd like to think we're a very small part of helping that number come down, but there's such a long way to go. And I think that people with disabilities need to be reframed in society as real people who just happen to have intellectual and developmental disabilities, and they are deserving of the innovation that the business world can bring to bear on them. And once that's done, once you're able to reframe that as a business leader, the sky's the limit. It's just a function of finding a place for those folks in your organization and figuring out what they can do and what ways you can innovate around them so that you can be successful. And in fact, they will become a winning competitive advantage for your company in ways that you have no idea about in this very moment.
Ben, your background is in financial services before launching this company and working there full time. Is there something that you saw in your work that made you think that this coffee shop business and employing people with disabilities, it's a good mix? Why did you decide that this was the particular type of business that you wanted to start with this mission?
Well, it's an important question, and I think any business can take this model of employing at least one person with a disability in their organization. And what I saw is that when people spent time with our kids, Biddy and Beau, who have Down syndrome, it changed them, right? They saw them as real people, not just as, oh, there's a person with a disability. And when people have that opportunity to be in the midst of someone who does have a disability like that, it just changes everything about it. And I saw that when my clients came in and met with me, and if they got to meet my kids during the process, it was very, very powerful. So Amy just had the great idea in the shower one day that, hey, you know what, let's amplify this. Because I had a very small kind of boutique practice, and my clients would only visit me face-to-face a couple of times a year. So it was great when it happened, but it wasn't enough. And the coffee shop is just a constant flow of people all the time, and it gives people that opportunity. Maybe just order, get your order, leave, or get your order and sit all day, or whatever, something in between. And it's critically important, and it's been a perfect venue to get our message across that people with disabilities are real people and that they do deserve the innovation that the business world can bring to bear on their lives and create all kinds of markets and demand for people that right now there just isn't.
And Amy, you have been able to grow this business from your idea in the shower to creating several franchises, 19 shops around the country. Do you have advice for business owners on how to attract people with disabilities to work for their company? Because they can't ask about it directly. That's against the law. So how are you making sure that you're attracting people with disabilities?
Well, the good news is there is an enormous talent pool out there waiting to work. 1 in 5 people in our country has a disability. 80% of them are unemployed. So if your company wants to take the first step, make an initiative to include people with disabilities in your workforce, they're waiting. They want to join you. So I think the first step is having a conversation within your company about this matters to us. And not only will it make a difference for everybody who works for you, who knows someone with a disability, it sets an example for other businesses in your community too, that you prioritize that. So, interestingly, with 1 in 5 people having a disability in our country, if a company says this matters to us, I can guarantee you there are people that work in that company that have a brother, that have a sister, that have a child that would love a job. And that's a great starting point. Maybe reach out to them first.